Alright guys, a little video today for my fellow seniors. I am 53 years old. I cannot move my body the way I used to. I've had to make some adaptations, or I am still working out, trying to keep myself in the best shape I can, but I'm very limited compared with the way I was when I was 20, 25. Got a busy life like so many of you, do a lot of teaching. I've got 3 kids. Can't be in the gym for hours every day like these elite golfers are and these PGA Tour players. They spend hours and hours and hours working on mobility, working on strength, and rightly so. Of course, they got permission to do things pretty incredibly, with their lower body in particular. So there's a lot of assumptions out there based on what tour players do, that the faster we move the hips, the faster the golf club moves. I don't believe that is the case. I also don't believe that the hips move the arms. I believe that the arms move the arms. We've got to create some mobility. We've got to create some freedom. And when we swing a golf club, we've got to use our wrists and arms if we want to create any kind of speed. What most of you are doing is what I like to call pinning and spinning, which basically means you get to the top of the backswing, your arms are pinned to your body, and then you're spinning your body back to the golf ball. A lot of you are getting out in front of the ball, moving too left too soon. That requires the body to stall and then the club to release early. So we've got to do the opposite, okay? I'm going to do 2 drills that I think are really going to help. The first one I learned when I was 7 years old. My father taught me this drill. I'm just going to go ahead and pass it on because it's been wonderful for me. It's been wonderful for my students. It's called a hitch hiker drill. All we're really doing, guys, is keeping our feet pretty close together. I'm going to go ahead and put an alignment rod in here pretty much opposite the golf ball, just to show you here. If I put my feet together, it's going to keep my head fairly quiet. I'm going to swing the golf club to the right of me, create an L here between my lead arm and shaft, and then I'm going to go ahead and reverse course and create another L on the opposite side of my body here, swinging the golf club freely. So let's go ahead and get after it. Just watch the head, doesn't really move. We're going to talk a little bit about that here in a second. So we'll make a swing here. We're going to go ahead and hinge, and then we're going to unhinge on the opposite side, kind of creating this reverse L on the opposite side of the body. So absolutely no tension in my back there, my hips, not creating any stress, moving the golf club pretty freely. And I build my whole golf swing around that. I want you to do the same thing too. So tee it up, use tees, put your feet together, and just work on sort of actuating your wrists here. When we swing a golf club, we have to understand the golf club is designed to twist. It's actually designed to rotate. That means the golf club is a little lighter in the toe than it is in the heel. So many of you are leaving the toe at the start line, okay? And then you're under the assumption that if you turn your body faster, the toe's going to catch up to the heel. I think that's where most golfers are going wrong, in my opinion. When you get to the top of the backswing here, you have to understand we need to get the toe of the club turning back to the ball probably considerably sooner than you ever have before. And it's not that we're releasing early. I'm not trying to get you to dump the club back here. It's got nothing to do with it. But we need to have a feel for what the club head is doing in a golf swing. We need to have some kind of a connection to something beyond the compound rubber that's underneath our hands. That requires less tension, especially in the wrists and the arms, okay? So if you can just kind of get a little bit more supple in your wrists, what you'll start to feel is you'll start to feel some weight at the end of the golf club. Essentially, you're making the golf club a little heavier, okay, by gripping it a little bit lighter. The tighter I grip it, the lighter the club becomes, and I think the less sensitive we are to what the toe of the golf club is doing. So that's a very, very important point, okay? So let me back up over here one more time. I'm going to do this drill. I'm going to grip the golf club. I'm going to monitor the tension in my joints. I'm going to do another hitchhiker drill. And what I'm going to do here is when I start my downswing, rather than taking the body and just kind of spinning my way back to the ball, you can see all of a sudden here, I'm starting to leave the club behind. What I'm going to do here is, for a split second, I'm going to feel like my arms kind of feel like they're dropping down and my upper body is going to feel like it's staying back, okay? So I'm going to delay the spin phase of the golf swing. I'm not going to throw the kitchen sink at it. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to start to allow my arms to almost feel like they're pulling me through the golf shot. It's what I like to call the feel sequence. It's not the real sequence, it's the feel sequence. What we need to understand is, as much as you try to do this, the odds of any of you actually looking like this is going to be slim to none. There's absolutely no way your body is not going to move. Your body is actually going to catch up to your arms. That's what I want you to understand. So as your arms are moving here, your body is going to support that motion, and here you are back at impact with the golf club lined up perfectly, okay? The toe is in front of the heel, is in front of the shaft, is in front of the hands and the arms of the body. Everything is really well aligned. Whereas you get to the top here and you throw the kitchen sink at it, you can see we've got all sorts of problems here. The shaft isn't lining up, the toe is lagging behind the heel. All of a sudden my body has to stop moving, and then I've got this look through the golf ball. So this feel sequence really is as much about delaying the body motion in the transition and allowing the arms to actually work down, okay? And as the arms are working down, the toe of the golf club is going to start to turn back towards the golf ball. We need to feel this sort of actuation here a little bit earlier. When you're driving a golf ball, we're going to feel like with the driver, we're doing it a little bit more up here, a little bit more around chest high. With your irons, you're going to feel like you're doing this around waist high. So let's go ahead and do that. One more time, little hitchhiker drill. Arms are so relaxed here. There we go. And I'm just going to build my golf swing around that. I'll make a little bit bigger golf swing, and I'm going to allow my body to respond. There we go. So now I'm starting to allow my body to turn through the golf shot. I'm certainly not forcing it. All right, I'm just allowing it to move. One more. There we go. So I've got absolutely no stress on my spine there, my hips. I don't feel like I'm twisting as I turn through the golf ball. I don't have excessive right side bend here. I'm not putting any stress on my body. Again, all I'm doing here is I've got a wonderful feel for my arms relaxing, almost feeling somewhat irresponsible, if that makes any sense. I'm just kind of letting the club go. There's a feeling of expansion past the golf ball. So many of you have this contraction with your arms coming towards you, and you're really dragging the toe of the golf club when you do that. So the feeling I have is my arms are actually extending past the golf ball here. The toe of the club is rotating, and I'm allowing my golf club to go home. I'm actually sending it home as opposed to just pulling it towards me. That's why this drill is so awesome. Let's go ahead and put a bit more mustard on it here. We'll get a little bit wider. And let's talk a little bit about where golfers really go wrong, which is getting too far in front of it as they start the downswing. So a lot of golfers get kind of too left too soon here, and they get their sternum out in front of their belt line, okay? That gets you leaning on it, okay? As we lean on it here, we've got to throw ourselves backwards at the point of collision. So what we want to do here as we change direction is we want to keep the head really, really quiet. I personally, especially with my driver, I feel like my lead shoulder actually comes off my chin as I change direction. That's a great swing feel. That's something that you can take to the golf course. It's really not terribly difficult. So if you change direction, and as you do that, your chin stays on your lead shoulder, you're going to be assured that you're actually spinning your body. If you go to the top of your backswing and you can kind of feel like your lead shoulder's moving off your chin, you're most likely starting to de-elevate your arms and sequence them, you know, as you change direction. That's really important. So let's do that same thing here, and I'm going to work on that feeling. Back to the target. You can see the arms de-elevate. You can see how the lead shoulder sort of moving away from my chin. And let's see what happens. We're going to do the same thing. Stay nice and relaxed. There we go. That is so easy. I feel like I could swing like that the rest of my life. I just want the same for everyone that's watching this. Again, you seniors out there that are really, really struggling. You're missing shots out to the right. Almost seems like the harder you swing, the shorter you hit it. I know it's frustrating. A lot of you, just picture this for a minute, going out playing this weekend. You know you've got people in your group, maybe it's yourself, who kind of throwing yourself at it. Can you see that move there? Where everything's just getting absolutely thrown at the golf ball. A lot of you struggling with early extension, which just basically means you move into the golf ball. All that can be eliminated by just staying a little quieter as you change direction and allowing those arms to work down. Can you see the shape of my body? I mean, I'm not changing shape. I'm not jumping forward. I'm not standing up. I'm just simply allowing my lead shoulder to come off my chin. I'm allowing my arms to work down like an elevator in a building here, and I'm allowing the golf club to twist. So it's a sort of a dropping motion with the arms. It's a twisting motion with the club face. I am not going to pin my arms to my body. I'm not going to spin my way to more speed. That is old news. It doesn't work. I know you're struggling with this. Get a lot of comments of people on my channel. If you want to comment, I'll always get back to you. Let's go ahead and make the arms move a little quicker here. A lot of misconceptions out there. You get to the top and you've got to fire your hips. Absolutely not. So let's move my arms a little bit quicker. So if I want to go a little faster, I'm going to move my arms a little faster from here to here. Essentially, I'm moving the grip end of the golf club faster. I'm okay with leaving the club head at the start line, okay? I'm not okay with leaving my arms at the start line. I don't want you to confuse those two things. So if I keep my back to the target and move my arms a little faster, you can see that definitely going to create lag. I've got a video called the lag paradigm. You should check that out. That talks a little bit about this. I hope this is making sense. Now, one thing you can do is drop your right side behind you. A lot of you struggle with mobility, especially in your pelvis and your hip area. So if you drop your trail foot behind you just a little bit, just like this, okay, it's going to help you create a little bit more depth. Going to get your hands a little bit more around your body, okay, and it's going to create a bit more space. You're going to have a pocket here for your arms to work down in front of you. If you get open, it's virtually impossible. If I do the opposite, if I get open here, you can see I've got absolutely no room, and I've got no place for my arms to go at this point but out and over. So if you want to do a little bit of adaptation to what we just did right there, again, all I'm really doing here is allowing my arms to swing freely past the golf ball, adding a little twist, feeling the club rehinge. All right, so I've got that golf club rotating and swinging as freely as I can. But for those of you that are a little bit stiffer in your back area, trust me, I can relate to that. I feel your pain, believe me. All you need to do here is just drop this trail foot a little bit more behind you, okay, and then do exactly the same thing. You notice how I'm not in a hurry to turn my body back to the golf ball. I'm going to keep my upper body back as long as I can. Allow the arms to kind of pull me through the golf shot. Let's go ahead and do that with a little bit more of a closer drill here. Right foot back. That was the best swing today. So that one helps me a lot. Again, 53. I'm working on it. I'm doing my stretching. I'm in the gym as much as I can. I don't have the time that these tour players have, right? These young college kids behind me here, they're working at it every single day. They're working in the gym, they're hitting golf balls, they're in amazing shape. And there is an easier way. We don't need to rely so much on the lower body to create speed. What we need to rely on are your wrists and your arms. That's where the rubber hits the road. Right foot back, same thing. Here we go. There's my release. Allow the arms to pull me through the golf shot. All day long. Hope that makes sense, guys. So a little hitchhiker drill, feet together. And then adapt that drill by just bringing that trail foot back a little bit more. Creates a little bit more room behind you for those arms to drop down. Just making sure you're not pinning and spinning. I see so many golfers throwing the kitchen sink at it, leaving their arms at the start line. Start to be a little bit more irresponsible here. An irresponsible golf swing would be a wonderful thing. Swing more carefree. Relax the joints of the wrist, arms, and shoulders, and swing the club head freely, guys, okay? Quit firing your body at it. It's not helping. If you think this could help, go ahead and share. If you have a comment, I always get back to everyone. And most importantly, thank you so much for supporting me and my channel. I really, really appreciate it. We'll talk to you next time.